So let's have the second example, which is the integral of y cosine 4y dy. So as I said before, there are 4 things that you need to know. So sa nung panahon pang I'm taking up integral, ginagawa namin is to do this. Gumagawa kami ng box for the x, for the u, du, v, and then dv. Ganun yung ginagawa namin. Okay. So, our u here, we will use y. And our du here is dy. And then our dv is cosine 4y dy. And then the integral of this one, we set u as 4y. So we will have 1/4 sine 4y. Okay, so wag na natin gawin to kasi masyadong maliit yung nagawa kong box. So wag na lang pala. So ilagyan ko na lang ng u is equals to y, and then the derivative of u is dy, and our dv here is cosine 4y dy. So our v here is 1/4 sine 4y. Okay, so in this part, kung gusto niyo malaman, so I will say kung bakit naging ganito. So di ba nga yung i-integrate natin is cosine 4y dy. Integrate natin. So we set u as 4y, and our du will just be 4. So ang mangyayari dito, we will have cosine of u multiplied by the value of dy, which is du over 4. So basically may 1/4 ako. The integral of cosine u du simply sine y. So we have 1/4 sine u plus c. So ano yung value ng u? Ang value ng u is 4y, so we will have 1/4 sine 4y. So ito na yun. Okay, so let's head on to the real deal, which is the integration by part. So we have the integral of y cosine 4y dy is equals to u, which is y, v, which is multiplied by 1/4 sine 4y plus minus integral of v, which is 1/4 sine sine 4y dy. Okay, so with that, we can also start integrating this one kasi ito okay na to eh. Okay, so integral na lang ng ditong part. So we have the integral of 1/4 sine 4y dy. So same as ginawa natin dito sa unang part, we set u as 4y, and our du is equals to 4 dy. We need to find the value of dy, so the dy value is equals to du all over 4. So let's plug in what we know. So we have 1/4 here, pwede natin siya ilagay outside the integral sign. So we will have 1/4 the integral of sine u multiplied by du all over 4. Kasi sinubstitute ko yung value niya, which is this. And then sinubstitute ko ng value ng u with this. Okay? So, what's the integral of sine u? We will have negative cosine. Tama ba? The integral of sine is negative cosine. Okay? So, we will have negative cosine here. So, we have 1/4 negative cosine u multiplied by 1/4. So, basically, we will have 1/16 negative tapos cosine u plus c. What's the value of ru? The value of ru is 4y. So, we will have negative 1/16 cosine 4y plus c. So, hindi naman na kailangan yung ilagay dito. Doon natin siya ilalagay sa final answer natin. So, ang magiging final answer natin is y 1/4 sine 4y plus, kasi kanina minus na kasi dito eh. Ito, minus na dito, plus yung minus pa dito. So, pag multiply mo siya, magiging positive kasi negative multiplied by negative is positive. So, we will have plus 1/16 cosine 4y plus c. So, kinapi ko lang to dito. So, that will be our final answer for this one. So, thank you for watching. And I forgot to welcome you guys in this YouTube channel. So, I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And see you on another video. Okay? Thank you. So, hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today, we will solve the integration by parts. Okay? So, in this example, we have, ang pangit talaga ng sulat ko, wait lang. I-delete muna natin. So, the formula for the integration by part is, wait lang, integral of u dv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. Okay? So, with that, let's have our third example na pala. We have the integral of t raised to 2 cosine t cube dt. So, okay na. So, there are 4 things to get in this one. So, we need to find the u, the u, du, dv, and rv. So, our u here is t squared. Our derivative of t raised to 2 is 2t dt. And our dv here is cosine t3 dt. Pangat ang pagkasulat ko. Cosine. So, our dv here is cosine t cube dt. And our v here, which is the integral of this one, is simply t raised to t. Wait lang. Mali dito. Sabi naman ito nakalito. Pero may mali dito. U is equals to cosine P3. So, hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, still we're answering integration by parts. So with the formula of u, the integral of u dv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. Okay, so with that, let's head on to another example. So basically, this is my fourth example for integration by parts. So you can watch the compiled one or yung tag-iisa lang sila. Okay, so let's have the sample of the integral of u arctan u du. So since we're using the functions u here, so we can use other variable para hindi tayo maguluhan. So let's set it as xy. Okay? So kailangan natin mahanap yung x, the dx, and then the dy, and then ry. So we have to set x as the arctangent of u. So what's the derivative of arctan of u? The derivative of that is simply 1 plus 1 plus u squared du. Okay, so with that, or we can write this as du all over 1 plus u squared. So, mas simplified siya tingnan. Okay, so we set the rd of y as u, du, and our y as the integral of u du is simply u squared over 2 using the power rule of integration. Okay, so we have the known variables and we have the formula. So, ang gagawin na lang natin is to plug in. Okay, so we will have the integral of u arctan u du is equals to the u, which is palitan natin to na ano para hindi integral of u x dy is equals to xy minus the integral of y dx. Okay, so we will have the value of x, which is arctangent of u, multiplied by the y, which is u squared over 2, minus the integral of y, which is u squared over 2, and then du multiplied by du all over 1 plus u squared. Kasi ito yung dx natin. Okay, so with that, mangyayari is pwede natin ito malabas dito. Since may 1/2 naman tayo dyan, di ba? So, we will have the integral of u arctan of u du is equals to, eto i-rearrange na natin, 1/2 u squared arctangent u minus 1/2 the integral of u squared multiplied by du all over 1 plus u squared. So, the next thing to do here is simply simplifying. Simply simplifying it. So, i-multiply natin siya by u arc tan, sulat ko lang, u du is equals to 1/2 u squared arctan u minus 1/2. So, ang mangyayari dito, ito ay magiging 1 minus 1 over 1 plus u squared du. So, bakit naging ganon? So, kailangan mo siya i-multiply by, i-multiply mo siya by 1 plus u squared, u squared over 1 plus u squared. So, ito yung magiging sagot niya. So, let's head on and solve this. So, we have u squared du all over 1 plus u squared. Tapos, i-multiply mo lang siya by 1 plus u squared all over 1 plus u squared. So, ang mangyayari dito is that 1 u squared, mali. Ano ba na ito? Kalimutan ko na. So, we have u squared multiplied by du 1 plus u squared. Ang mangyayari dito? Equal to multiplied by u squared one. Hindi pwede. Baka 1 over u squared. Paano kaya ito? Wait lang. So, ang mangyayari dito magiging u squared 1 plus u squared. So, set u as so, ang mangyayari dito is magiging x squared all over 1 plus x squared. Tapos, mag-a-add dito tayo plus. So, hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, for today's video, we will solve integration by parts. So, integration by parts. Ano nga ba ito and paano i-solve? So, with that, we will give you more examples about integration by parts. So, this video is all about integration by parts with the ano yung tawag dun, formula, which is the integral of u dv is equivalent to uv minus the integral of v du. So, for this example, we will have the integral of u arctangent of u du. Okay? So, with that, kailangan natin dito ng 4 things. Since yung usual na ginagamit is u and v. But this time, nasa given siya. So, para maiwasan malito, so, ang gagawin na lang natin dito is parang palitan natin ng other variable. So, we can say that the integral of a d of b is equals to ab minus the integral of b dA. So, let's have our A, D of A, B, and D of B and RB. Okay, so we have A. I'm setting A as arctangent of U. The derivative of that is simply du all over 1 plus u squared. Or pwede naman 1 plus u squared du. Same lang din naman yun. Pero mas simplified to. So, mas yun na yun ang kukunin natin. So, this one is nasa parang nasa cheat sheet ng derivative. Dapat sa ulo or dapat kabisado. So, we have the db. I'll choose the db as u du. And the b, which is the integral of that, is simply u squared over 2. Okay, so let's plug in what we know. Okay, so we will have the integral of u arctangent of u du is equals to a, which is arctangent of u, and then our b, which is u squared over 2, minus the integral of b, which is u squared over 2, multiplied by the dA, which is du all over 1 plus u squared. Tapos, pagkatapos niyan, we have to simplify. So, we will have the integral of u arctangent of u du is equals to arctangent of u squared over 2 minus, ilabas natin dito yung 1/2. So, we will have 1/2 the integral of u squared all over 1 plus u squared du. So, ang nangyari dito is simplify ko na siya by just multiplying the numerator with the du and then the denominator, which is 1, with 1 plus u squared. Kaya, naging ganyan. So, the trick here is that etong part na to, parang complicated siya. So, ang gagawin natin is to simplify it. So, we will have u squared all over 1 plus u squared. So, anong technique na gagawin natin para dito? So, ang gagawin natin dito is to add 1 and then minus 1. It's simply adding 0. So, wala tayong ginawa. This one is just equal to this one. Okay? Wala tayong ginawa other than to expand and parang pinahaba. Okay? So, with that, we can say that we can rewrite this as 1 plus u squared over 1 plus u squared minus 1 over 1 plus u squared. So, this is just equivalent to 1 minus 1 plus u square. So, ito yung ilalagay natin dito. I-rewrite natin siya as that way. Okay? So, let's head on to our solution. We have the integral of u arctangent of du is equals to 1/2 u square arctangent u. Ito, same lang to as ito, pero pwede nyo naman to ilagay na eh. Though, mas better if mas maganda tingnan, so kaya ginanyan ko. So, minus 1/2, the integral of 1 minus 1 over 1 plus u square. Okay? So, don't forget the du. So, we can integrate this, okay? So, the integral of this is simply u. The integral of this is simply arctangent of u. So, we will have the answer of the integral of u arctan du is equals to 1/2 u squared arctan u minus 1/2 u minus, or magiging plus na kasi negative, plus arctangent of u plus c. So, this will be our final answer. So, thank you for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more contents like this. So, thank you and God bless. So, hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, for today's video, we will do integration by parts. So, the integration by parts has formula which is the integral of u dv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. So, our first example would be the integral of x multiplied by 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx. So, in using integration by parts, we need to know the four values, which is the u, our du, the dv, and our v. So, I will set the u as rx, and the derivative of that is simply dx, and then I will choose 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx as my dv, and then the integral of that is simply, so ilagay natin dito yung explanation of integration nito. So we need to find the integral of 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx. So we set u as 2x minus 1, and then the du is, or the derivative of that is simply 2 dx, and then the dx value is equals to du over 2. So, simply may 1/2 tayo dito. So, I can write this as 1/2 the integral of u raised to 7 du. Bakit? So, wait. Explain ko sa inyo kung bakit. So, as I said, we have the integral of, ito, value nito is u. So, pwede na siya natin masubstitute. U raised to 7 multiplied by the dx value, which is du over 2. So, du over 2. So, pwede natin may 1/2 tayo dito. Pwede natin siya malagay dito na part. So, we will have the integral of 1/2 the integral of u raised to 7. What's the integral of u raised to 7? The integral of that is simply u raised to 8 over 8. So, we have 1/2 u raised to 8 multiplied by u raised to 8 over 8. So, multiplying the fraction, we will have 1 over 16 u raised to 8. And what's the value of ru? The value of ru is simply 2x minus 1 raised to 8. So, this is the integration of that. So, we will have here 1 over 16, 2x minus 1 raised to 8. Tama ba? Okay, so that's it. So the next thing to do here is, wait lang, i-delete ko lang tong part na to. Pero ang next thing na gagawin na natin dito is plug in the known values dun sa ating equation. Okay? Wait lang, i-delete ko muna to. Ay, wait, naglalag. So, pagkatapos nito is, we have here 16. Okay, so we will plug in. So, the integral of x 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx is equals to u, which is x, the v, which is 1 over 16, 2x minus 1 raised to 8, minus the integral of v, which is 1 over 16, 2x minus 1 raised to 8, and our du, which is dx. Okay? So, with that, we can write and then integrate. So, we can have the integral of x, 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx is equals to 1 over 16, is equals to 1 over 16, or we can simply rewrite this as x multiplied by 2x minus 1 raised to 8 over 16 minus, eto na 116, pwede natin siya ilabas, 1 over 16, the integral of 2x minus 1 raised to 8 dx. So, let's head on and integrate this part lang. So, we will have the integral of 2x minus 1 raised to 8. Same as before, we set u as 2x minus 1 and the du is equals to 2 dx. And the dx value is equals to du all over 2. So, don't forget dx pala. So, we have the known values, so we can substitute. So, we can have the integral of 2x, magiging u na siya, kasi yun yung value niya. So, we will have u raised to 8 multiplied by the dx value, which is this one. We will have du all over 2. So, with that, we will have 1/2 the integral of u raised to 8. What's the integral of that? So, we will have 1/2 u raised to 9 all over 9. So, we will have 1 over 18 u raised to 9. The value of our u is 2x minus 1. So, we will have 1/2, 1 over 18 pala. The value of u, which is 2x minus 1 raised to 9. So, that's our answer. So, let's back. Ay. I-back lang natin para ma-delete. So, that's it. We will have the integral of x 2x minus 1 raised to 7 dx is equals to x 2x minus 1 raised to 8 over 16 minus 1 over 288 2x minus 1 raised to 9 plus c. Kasi minultiply natin yung 16 and 118. Okay? So, that's our final answer for this one. So, thank you for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Okay? So, thank you and God bless. So, by the way, You can use this or this as an x as long as you arrive in the same answer. Or pwede naman dv to, pwede naman ito yung u, pwede naman ito yung u, pwede naman ito yung dv, but make sure that the answer will still be the same. Okay? So that's all. Thank you for watching. So, hello guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, we will be doing integration by parts. So, I've decided to write as many sample as I can in one video, but you can just watch it separately kasi mag-upload din ako ng separate video for each. Okay? So, before anything else, in integration by part, meron siya ng formula which is the integral of u dv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. Okay? So, let's start. So, for this lesson, ang example ko is what is the integral of x cubed a squared plus x squared raised to 1/2 dx. Okay? So, in this part, may integrate natin siya by chopping this off. So, ang mangyayari dito is that ang way ko is gaganituhin siya x squared tapos x multiplied by a squared plus x squared raised to 1/2 dx. That way, mas masasolve mo siya easier. Okay, so after that, we need to know the four values which is the u, the du, the dv, and rv. So, I will choose x squared as my u, and then the derivative of that is simply 2x. Okay, and then I'll choose x a squared plus x squared raised to 1/2 as my dv, and then i-integrate natin siya. So, let's do it. Okay, we have integral of x a squared plus x squared raised to 1/2. So, what's the way here? So, we need to find the u. We set the u, which is a squared plus x squared, and then our du, which is the derivative of that. Since ito constant to, ito lang yung papakialaman natin. So, we will have 2x dx. And the value of our dx here, don't forget the dx, always. So, the value of our dx here is du all over 2x. Okay? So, with that, we can substitute the value that is known. We will have the integral of x, and this one, value na is u. So, pwede natin siya masubstitute as u. U raised to its exponent, which is 1/2, multiplied by the dx, which is this one. So, we will have multiplied by du all over 2x. So, matatanggal to. Basically, may 1/2 tayo dito. And then, the integral of u raised to 1/2 is simply 1/2 multiplied by u raised to 1/2 plus 1 all over 1/2 plus 1. So, 1/2 plus 1, 1 or 2 over 2 is 3/2. So, meron tayo ng 1/2 multiplied by u raised to 3/2 all over 3/2. So, simplification of this one is simply 2 over 6 u raised to 3/2 or 1/6 u raised to 3/2. And then what's the value of our u? The value of our u is simply a squared plus x squared raised to 3/2. So, yan yung magiging value ng ating v. Okay? So, i-erase na natin or mas better ata na pag ini-erase para mas mabilis. Okay. I-erase muna natin to. Basta alam na natin yung value ng x, mas madali na siya. Okay? So, our v value is equivalent to, ano ulit yun? 1/3, mali. 1/3 a squared plus x squared raised to 3/2. Okay? So, erase natin to para malinis yung paper natin. I mean, workspace pala. Oops, na-delete ko pa. Okay, so, let's head on the real deal in this. So, we already have the u, dv, v, du. So, we can write we can solve na, okay? So, we have equal sign, the integral of x cubed, a squared plus x squared raised to 1/2 is equals to the u, which is x squared, the v, which is 1/3, a squared plus x squared raised to 3/2, minus the integral of v, which is 1/3 a squared plus x squared raised to 3/2 multiplied by the du, which is 2x dx. So, ang gagawin natin dito sa 1/3, ilalabas natin siya and then integrate. So, bale, ito, okay na to. Ito na lang yung i-integrate natin. So, meron tayo ng negative 1/3 the integral of a squared plus x squared raised to 3/2 2x dx. Okay? So, yan na muna yung pagtutuunan natin ng pansin. Kasi yun, i-rearrange na lang to. And then, we're set. Pwede naman na nga yung sagot pero mas mainam pag mas magandang tingnan or mas simplified. Okay? So, we will have, let's set u as a squared plus x squared. And then, let's set our du or the derivative of the u. We will have 2x dx. So, what's the value of our dx? The value of our dx is simply du over 2x. Ang ginagawa dito is simply manipulating this one. Okay? To get the dx. Ini-exclude natin yung dx to get its value. So, we have negative 1/3 the integral of u, kasi ito na yung value niya, u raised to 3/2 2x, the dx value, which is du all over 2x. So, same to, ito, tapos ito, maka-cancel just because it means 1. So, basically, we have this one. So, we will have negative 1/3 the integral of, what's the integral of u raised to 3/2? Imamultiply natin siya dito. So, you have u 3/2 plus 1 all over 3/2 plus 1. So, 3/2 plus 1 is just equals to 2 over 2. So, the answer is 5/2. So, we will have negative 1/3 multiplied by u raised to 5/2 over 5/2. So, upon simplification, magkakaroon tayo ng final answer na negative 2 over 15. Tama? 2 over 15 u raised to 5/2. So, what's the value of our u? We will have u over 15 u raised to 5/2. We will have negative 2 over 15 a squared plus x squared raised to 5 halves. So, pag kinumpleto natin yung answer, we will arrive in the answer of x squared 1/3 multiplied by a squared plus x squared raised to 3 halves minus 2 over 15 a squared plus x squared. Hello guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, pag-aaralan natin ay integration by parts. With the formula of the integral of u dv is equals to v u v minus v the integral of v du. Okay, so with that, let's have our first example, which is the integral of v sine squared v dv. So we will set the value of in integrating by parts, we need to find 4 values, which is u, v, du, and dv. But in this case, we're using v. So to avoid confusion, let's switch the variable. So we will use a. Pero parehas lang din naman. So for this example, our formula will be a db is equals to ab minus integral of b dA. Okay, so we need to find the value of a, and then the dA, the db, and then the b. So the value for the a will be v, and then the derivative of v is dv, and the value for the db is sine squared v dv. So we need to integrate that. So the integral of sine squared v db is equals to, first thing to do here is to palitan yung sine squared v using the double angle formula. It's this double angle formula. So it states here that cosine 2a is equals to 1 minus 2 sine squared a. So kailangan natin yung since v yung variable natin dito, we can say that a is equals to v. So we can say cosine 2v is equals to 1 minus 2 sine squared v. Tapos, kailangan natin ma-exclude yung sine squared v. So, ang mangyayari dito is 2 sine squared v is equals to 1 minus cosine 2v all over 2. So, basically, it just means that, the value of sine squared v is equivalent to 1 minus cosine 2v all over 2, according to the double angle formula. Pagkatapos yan, we can integrate it na. So, we can say it is the integral of 1 minus cosine 2v all over 2. So, by integration, we can put 1/2 outside the integral sign. So we have integral of 1 minus cosine 2v. So the integral of 1 is just v. So we will have 1/2 v minus 1/2, kasi ito yung 1/2 didistribute dito and then dito. Kaya may 1/2 din yung isa. Tapos, the integral of cosine 2v, we set u as 2v our du is 2 dv, and our dv is 2. So, bali may 1/2 pa tayo dito. So, may 1/2 tayo, and then the integral of cosine q is sine u. The value of u is 2v. So, we will have the value of 1/2 v minus 1/4 sine 2v. So, that will be our b value, which, wait, i-delete na muna natin. So, we got the value of our b, which is 1/2 v minus 1/4 sine 2v. So, with that, we can plug in our known values to our equation. So, we have the integral of v sine squared v dv is equals to a, which is v, and b, which is v over 2 minus 1/4 sine squared v. Ay, sine 2v pala, hindi siya squared. 2v pala. So, it should be 2v. Wait, i-delete natin. So, dapat 2v. Sine 2v. Sine 2v. Okay? So, minus the integral of b, which is v over 2 minus 1/4 sine 2v multiplied by the dA, which is just dv. Okay, so ito, okay na to. Ito na lang yung problema natin. So, let's go ahead and integrate that. We will have the value of the integral of v over 2 minus 1/4 sine 2v. So, the integral of that is simply the integral of v over 2 minus the integral of 1/4 sine 2v. So, the integral of this is just 1/2 v raised to 2 over 2. So, magkakaroon ng 1/4. And then minus 1/4 times 1/2 cosine 2v. So, magkakaroon ng 1 over 4 v squared minus 1 over 8 cosine 2v. So, ipaghalo-halo na natin. So, magkakaroon tayo ng final answer. The integral of v sine squared v dv is equals to v over 2 minus 1/4 sine 2v minus v squared over 4 minus 1/8 cosine 2v plus c. So, that can be your answer, pero pwede natin siya masimplify pa by distributing v to this equation. Okay? So, to distribute that, we will have the final answer. V sine squared v dv is equals to v squared over 2 minus v over 4 sine 2v minus v squared over 4 minus 1/8 cosine 2v plus c. So, this is our final answer. So, thank you for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more contents like this. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, today pag-aaralan natin is integration by part. The formula for this is the integral of u dv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. Okay, so for our first example, we have the integral of y cosecant squared y cotangent y dy. So we need to find the value of our u and then du and then our dv and our v. Okay, so for this example, I'll set the value of u as y and the derivative of that is simply dy. And then we set the value of cosecant squared y cotangent y dy as our dv value. And for our v value, we have to integrate that. So we have the integral of cosecant squared y cotangent y dy. So we set the value of u as cotangent y, and then the derivative of that is simply cosecant squared y negative dy. So we need the value of dy, so the value of dy is equals to du all over negative cosecant squared y. So plug it in our equation, so we will have the integral of cosecant squared y cotangent y papalitan na natin yung value ng cotangent y because it's just u. So, u na siya. Multiplied by the value of dy, which is this one. We will have du all over negative cosecant squared y. So, makakancel ito. And we will be left with the integral of negative u du. The integral of that is simply negative u squared over 2. What's the value of u? So, we will have negative 1/2 cotangent squared y. So that is our v value. So we have cotangent squared negative over 2. Okay? So erase na muna natin dito sa baba. Okay, so dahil dyan, now we know the 4 things that we have to integrate by parts, so we can now integrate it. So we have the integral of y cosecant squared y cotangent y dy is equals to u, which is y, v, which is negative cotangent squared y all over 2, minus the integral of v, which is negative cotangent squared y all over 2, multiplied by the du value, which is just dy. Okay? So, with that, we can just simply put outside our 1/2 here, and then directly integrate it. Okay? So, now, we will use another formula for this one. We need to use the Pythagorean Identity, which states that 1 plus cotangent squared theta is equals to cosecant squared theta. So, the value of cotangent squared theta is equals to cosecant squared theta minus 1. So, since we're dealing with y, we can say the theta value can be y. So, this could be cotangent squared y is equals to cosecant squared y minus 1. Okay, so we will have the integral of y cosecant squared y cotangent y dy is equals to y multiplied by negative cotangent squared y over 2 minus the integral of, minus. So, ang mangyayari dito, magiging plus na siya, 1/2 the integral of cotangent squared y. Okay? So, since cotangent squared y ang ang meaning niya lang is ito, we can substitute this one. Okay? So, magiging, imbis na cotangent squared y yung ilagay, pwede natin malagay yung cosecant squared y minus 1. So, integrating it, we will have the integral of, taas ko lang, integral of y cosecant squared y cotangent y dy is equivalent to y multiplied by negative cotangent squared y all over 2 plus 1/2 cosecant squared y, the integral of it, minus 1/2, okay, dy. Okay, so with that, we can simply integrate it. So we have y cosecant squared y cotangent y dy is equals to y negative cotangent squared y all over 2 plus, what's the derivative of, the integral of cosecant squared y? It's simply cotangent y. So we will have 1/2 cotangent y minus 1/2 y plus c. So this can be our final answer, but we can simply simplify this one. Through simplification, we will obtain the value of y negative y cotangent squared y all over 2 plus 1/2 cotangent y minus y over 2 plus c. So, this is our final answer. By the way, the integral of cosecant squared y is negative cotangent. So, dapat pala negative yung sign natin dito. Okay, so, let me erase that one. So, we will have the value of negative 1/2 cotangent y plus c. So, this is our final answer. Thank you for watching. I hope you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you and God bless. So, hello guys. This is the last example for integration by parts. So, for this one, simply ilalagay ko lang dito yung formula, which is integral of u dv minus uv is equals to uv minus the integral of v du. Okay? So, for this example, kahalin tulad ng before, we have the integral of y cosine y sine squared y dy. So, we need the value of u, du, dv, and rv. So, we set the value of u as y, and the derivative of y is dy. So, we set the dv as cosine y sine squared y dy. And our v value is just integration of this. So, cosine y sine squared y dy. The integral of that one is simply, we set u as cosine y, we set u as sine y, and then we set our du, or the derivative of sine y is cosine y. So, cosine y dy, and the value of dy is simply du all over cosine y. So, let's integrate. Through integration, we will obtain the value of cosine y. Sin y, set na natin siya as u raised to 2, multiplied by the dy value, which is du all over cosine y. So, makakancel na to. And we will be left with the integral of u squared du, which is just u squared of u cube over 3 using the power rule. So, what's the value of our u? The value of u is sine y raised to 3 over 3 plus c. So, that's our v value. So, let me erase this part para matuloy na natin yung solution natin. So, ang sinabi ko kanina, the value of our v here is 1/3 sine cube y. Okay, so let's head on and plug it to our formula. We have the integral of y cosine y sine squared y dy is equals to u, and the v, which is 1/3 sine cube y minus the integral of v, which is 1/3 sine cube y multiplied by the value of du, which is just dy. So, this one is already done, but this one is not yet. We need to integrate that part. So, we have the integral of y cosine y sine squared y dy is equals to y 1/3 sine cube y minus, ilabas na natin yung 1/3 before the integral sign, isulat natin the integral of sine cube y dy. So, ang gagawin dito is simply expanding. So, ang mangyayari dito is gagawin ko itong sine squared y tapos sine y. So, as we all know, the Pythagorean theorem states that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equals to 1. So, the value of our sine squared theta is equals to 1 minus cosine squared theta. So, we set theta is equals to y. So, sine squared y is equals to 1 minus cosine squared y. So, we can substitute that here. So, we will obtain the value. The integral of cosine y sine squared y dy is equals to y multiplied by 1/3 sine cube y minus 1/3 the integral of 1 minus cosine squared y multiplied by sine y. Okay? So, with that, we distribute the sine y. So, ito, copy nyo lang to all throughout. So, we have 1/3 the integral of sine y minus the integral 1/3 the integral of cosine squared y sine y. So, ang mangyayari dito is that ito, integrable na siya. Ito, integrable na siya. The integral of sine y is negative cosine, so magiging positive siya. We will have positive 1/3 cosine y. And in this part, we set u as cosine y du is equals to sine y negative sine y pala. So, dapat magiging positive na siya kasi negative, dapat positive na to. So, dy, so the value of our dy is equals to du all over negative sine y, negative. So, Wait, ilagay natin siya dito. So, we have 1/3. We have 1/3 the integral of u squared sine y multiplied by du all over negative sine y. So, matatanggal to. So, we will be left with negative u squared. The integral is 1/3 multiplied by u cubed over 3. So, we will have 1 over 9 u raised to 3. What's the value of our u? We have 1 over 9 cosine cube y. Okay, so isama-sama na natin yung mga nakuha nating sagot. We will have the final answer of ano ba yan? Of y. Final answer of y 1/3 sine cube y plus 1/3 cosine y minus 1/4 ay 1 over 9 cosine cube y plus c. So, this will be an answer. This can be an answer, but we can rewrite this as y over 3 sine cube y plus 1/3 cosine of y minus 1 over 9 cosine cube y plus c. So, this is our final answer. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you and God bless.